welcome to our fourth episode of Safety Talk with myself, Bandeli Patrick Eleftherio, Mr. PPE, and Gert Hendricks, our safety coach from FTS Safety Group. Alright, it seems that there's increased pressure and awareness around safety now. There's been a lot of talk on safety files.
Yeah.
But for a business, safety management systems or safety compliance documents, what is it and why do we need it?
A safety management system is a system that is documented and how you're going to manage each and every task in your company safely and in compliance with the Act and regulations. And so you need to have a safety file stating how you're going to, as proof of evidence of how you do your task safely.
So I get a bit confused with this terminology. A safety file, my understanding, is for contractors and construction industry. Not
only. It is but mere one leg. For example, let's say you've got a factory, engineering company that manufactures certain things, and you need to install it on a client's site. The client is asking for a safety file. That is not your first contact to safety. Safety should start in your factory, in your office, and that is your safety management system. One leg of your safety management system is my site work.
Okay, so we're talking about safety management systems. In essence, this is a structured methodology.
That's correct.
To stay on top of safety compliance must-dos. I mean,
I think the easiest way of understanding a safety management system is where you need to start. You start with, what do I do in my company? And I do a risk assessment on each and every task. And out of your risk assessment, which has been legislated, you need to then put controls in place. Those controls will build up your safety management system. So for example, you've got a forklift in your warehouse. Durban machine regulation requires you to have a forklift driver which is licensed. The forklift needs to be load tested. The forklift needs to be inspected. Those are the things that needs to be done in place. That forms part of your safety management system. Now you go to site. On site you've got a grader or some trucks that goes on site. You need a qualified operator which is licensed and appointed. You need inspection on that. If you've got an onboard crane, that crane needs to be load tested. So that's the difference between within your company and then the site which is outside. But your risk assessment is where you start.
Okay, so let's use a restaurant for example.
Yeah.
All right. I was formerly involved with the Kauai franchise and we had a lot of pressure from the franchisor to make sure that we complied. I mean, we went as far as in making us label the different plug points and etc. I mean, but the reality is, if I'm honest, we never actually were consistent at it. It was always a scramble just before the inspection to put everything together. I mean, I'm having a lot of experience on the business side of safety, not just on the theory side. How does it work? I mean, how do you make a difference and make it easier for businesses to actually manage this?
You know what's a big thing in businesses is that, especially in franchises like Kauai and restaurants, their main objective is making food. Safety is an add-on.
Well, that's in pretty much every industry.
That's in every industry, but it's so much more in that industry. So what you need to get is you need to get the legal compliance covered, get management to understand what's the liability, and then that's maybe the bulk of the work. Then you can start the daily or the monthly activity is minimal just to stay compliant. It's to complete that circle of compliance on a monthly basis. Once everybody understands why it needs to be done, you will do it on a monthly basis, and you need some type of reminding system. So put it on your Google calendar or something.
Again, I'm actually 100% with you on the theory of this, but I'm going to fight you on the implementation side. I've had the best intentions for the last 20 years. I'm in the safety industry. And yet, my other businesses, and I am supposedly qualified and expert and have all the resources, are probably none of them are 100%.
None of them.
And what I found is this: a lot of the time, it's not because of any other reason, but we just think we're up to date, and then we blink, and it's actually been 3 months, 4 months, 6 months since our last inspection or our last check. So I mean, the part that I'm getting to is what do people need to do to actually implement it? I mean, and what are is it literally as simple as just a reminder and the discipline of doing it?
Yeah, safety is like a recurring business. It is the reoccurring things that maybe lack and the documentation traceability. That's the two things that lack. And that's why companies pay consultants to come and remind them, to be that conscience for them and say, oh goodness gracious, I need to do this. So although you said it's a natural thing, it's wrong, you should not wait for the consultant or the auditor to come and say, oh goodness, I need to get everything in place. But it's better to do it like that than not doing it at all.
That makes sense, I suppose.
It's a human nature.
No, so then let's get to the crux of this. Are we actually talking about project management? Is that what safety is? It's just another project in your business that you have to be disciplined and consistent on.
Yes.
You have to talk about it regularly. You have to get out there. You have to do the inspections. Are we going to bring out all the cliches? Inspect what you expect. Is that what it is?
There's nothing new under the sun. And that's exactly your safety, the same thing.
But I found this, my feedback, sorry to interrupt. My feedback has been from everyone, from our clients that we deal with, they found the paperwork too laborious. And people are put off, I hate paperwork, you know me. Okay? So at the end of the day, you give me too much paperwork to do, my brain shuts down, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Do we have anything to help them? Are we going to develop anything? Are there groups of people that can help each other? Are there forums? Is there a webinar? And again, I know we're touching on some of the things we've covered in the previous episodes, but the more we're talking about this, the more actually I'm going, this is actually less about safety and more about leadership and priorities.
Because safety is not difficult. You understand? It's just to keep up to date.
So should this be leadership and project management talk?
There should be some type of project management. There should be some type of project management within each company. You understand? And you're absolutely right. What consultants usually does is they put the paperwork in place to make sure you're legally covered, so when something happens, and then on a monthly or bi-monthly or quarterly manner, they come and they remind you of your duties and liabilities to do the inspections so that you can remain protected, legally protected and compliant.
My experience with consultants means they've come once a year, put all the paper together, submitted it for us, and there has been no follow through. We get the tick box, or I've seen clients pass, and then a week later they're not actually implementing anything. So that actually gives me, so talk a little bit about safety coaching, where that came from, and not consultant, because you were a consultant when you joined us several years ago, and now you're a safety coach. What's the logic behind that?
A safety consultant is somebody that wants to keep you in some type of, let me rather not say. Safety consultants like to keep the reliability with them. So they want to come in and do your majority of your safety and rebuild that long-term relationship, which is a good thing. Safety difference between consulting and coaching is a coach will come and say, you cannot outsource liability. You have to develop that skills internally. So let me not do it for you, but let me teach you how to do that. And that is the big difference. And that is why I think that a consultant which stays for a long period of time has actually outstayed his welcome. Consultant needs to get to a stage where he stays back.
Let's bring another example here. Sorry. We've had a series of SEO people come onto and help us manage our websites and our social media, and we've generally found that after every 6 months those guys are not performing, and we've actually now implemented a policy that we're actually swapping them every 6 months. And we're getting better results out of it, because after 6 months people, I call it shop blindness, they just don't notice the changes, the small changes. The guys coming in with fresh ideas are coming in and they want to shake it up and make changes. I don't feel that this is quite the same here, because here we're actually talking about like consistent compliance issues. We're talking about inspections that need to be done. We're talking about training that needs to be done. We're talking alignment, PPE and surveys. We're talking about making sure you've got the right product for the right application after you've made sure you've eliminated the correct risk. To not feel like we're going around in circles. If I want to get this answered.
Okay.
I am a small business owner. I have less than 50 staff. Safety feels like an effort for me.
Yes.
It is high on my agenda. It is important to me. I care about my staff. I care about the people who I engage with. But I blink and 3 months, 6 months, 9 months pass, and I am not completely up to date. How can you help me?
Well, Patrick, if you haven't got the discipline to do it internally, you understand, and you haven't got the know-how to put your paperwork in place so that it can legally actually protect you, and that it has effect in your working environment, get a consultant. Get somebody to assist you. Appoint a safety officer which is registered and trained so that they can assist you and it be only their task. They've got nothing else in place.
So is that what you do? Will you come in there as a coach, not as a consultant?
Yes.
Assist the business owner if they want to be hands-on,
Yes.
or a representative in their company, or a safety officer in their company, or
Yes.
a safety officer that you've appointed?
Well, we can appoint a safety officer to do it on their behalf for them, or I personally like to work with somebody inside the company so that we can take their hand, guide them all the way, show them the ropes, so that, because you cannot outsource liability.
Okay, so you're meeting with people. I know we've had some examples where people have really taken bull by the horns. What happens when you get those people who are just not performing? How do you deal with them? You rock up to the meeting, they've only got an hour with you, they haven't prepared, they haven't done their assignments or the workload assigned to them. How do you handle that?
They become long-term clients. No, a client like that is actually more common, and it's understandable because, as you said, it is not their core function, and they are happy with having you coming in on a regular basis and assisting. It means they are still compliant, which is good, and it's a win-win situation on both sides.
Okay, so let's quickly summarize. A safety management system is a behind-the-scenes project management system / diligence
Yes.
to demonstrate that the company is taking reasonable steps to protect their staff and their stakeholders. It is also, however, a living project that requires management, business owners, leaders to engage with it on a regular, consistent basis to stay on top of it, and probably requires those people involved to continually update themselves with changes in the Act and best practices to stay on top of it. And it is needed for all different types of businesses, no matter what you are.
No matter what you.
It is still sometimes referred to as a safety file, even though many of us know safety files for the construction industry. So a safety management system for a business can also be called a safety file for a business.
Yes.